So I was thinking what to talk about today, and I thought about it like an old project, and this project was actually mine. I was traveling, and I was living in a different country, moving to another country, and we were buying a house. I was working, so I couldn't go see the house. I saw videos of the house, and then I thought, I think this has potential. And so we had a bunch of friends visit the place without me. And one of the things one of my friend did was she said, I think Rainy would really like it. This is not Rainy style, but I can see if she remodels the kitchen. And I think she was saying like even knock this wall. And the thing is, she's not even an architect or designer. She works with I'm gonna butcher the name, but she's a doctor, and an eye doctor. And so, what would I do if I go back to if I were my own client? So this was years ago, and all the experience I've had since then, and the person I've become today. So I'm gonna go through the whole process of if I was my own client. Okay. So the first thing I would do is send a proposal. And here we would discuss like our first meeting, that it's like 30 minutes. It's a discovery call. And from that call, I would know what they need. Okay. And I would write down, okay, you would want to feel at home in a place that it's not you've never been there before. Okay, so then we would go through the phases. So the first phase is the holistic space assessment, where I see everything, videos, photos, measurements, exactly the way I approach this project. And then after that goes by hiring I do a little design for the holistic space assessment, which is like a 3D, elevations, floor plans, kind of like the color theme, mood board, etc., etc. But this comes out of a place of knowing the person and the transition they are in. I was in a transition, and it was a tough transition because I was moving country, and I really didn't want to because it was going really, really well. I had one of the biggest projects I've ever worked on, which was a mall. And so I would take all of that into consideration. So then phase two is find a contractor, do the budget based on the design, and do more details on the plans. Then is the vision implementation, where we start the construction with the permits, if we need to go to the city, etc., etc. And, between that meditation, we can do some movement, good food, art, and this is what I called the soulful tools that help us or me, and my clients come from a place of a vision, a dream of what that future needs to be. So this is side by side. So it's not only the design, but it's also about the space, but it's also about the person, what's happening in their inner landscape. So then that can be reflected into the future home and what they want to be, right? The pricing, here is a little bit about me and my experiences. And then one of the things I use, one of the tools is this, which is a tool I use where it's like questions that allow me to know what's happening. And through that, beautiful quotes that help answer these questions. And then we go into a meditative state as well, so I can help them. And out of this, there's a conclusion. There's something they would know and I will know, even if it's not specifically about their color, their favorite colors or things like that, but more of like the smells, the food, the cities they visit, nature. And so this is the house. as it was before I didn't even see this part, but this is how it looked. This was the design they used. This is the kitchen. And then, so we go into phase two, which is knocking this whole wall here. Selecting the flooring, the color palette, all of this. And so it's a huge transformation, as you can tell, as well as the colors. So this is what it was going to look like. We were knocking the whole wall, adding a new island, moving where the fridge was going to go, the furniture, the style, the colors. So at the beginning, I had this idea of having the island on having some like bookshelves on both sides, but then I ended up doing just one on the side, and this is how it would look. So it's all about the colors. It's about like this is quartz, and it was new. There wasn't a lot of companies doing this, but the company I worked for had a sister company that sold this, and so I got like beautiful pricing, the highest, like now they work for big hospitals, so it's like the high end of construction I was able to receive, and because of that. This is one of my favorite parts because, like, for example, in the design here, I was going to remove this because I wanted it to be more open and more light to enter all the spaces. But then I ended up leaving this and removing this part here. And then we just bought like a whole new piece to add here because the idea was to remove this and move it here. So repurpose the wood. Because it was high quality wood as well. It's like a 70s, 60s, 70s house. They were doctors, the first owners. We were the third owners. So it was very, very special home, good bones, very big. But here is like the place where we would hang out here. I would have visitors from all around the world. I was able to host them, family, friends. We would have many, many parties. I forgot to add the photos here, but I do have a reel that shows a little bit of our time here. We changed the flooring, as you can tell, and the color was more neutral. And by that time, you wouldn't see this type of colors, but after when we sold the house, it sold immediately. Even the realtor was like, the economy is not doing really well, and this house sold very quickly. I never thought they would buy it for this amount of money. And then what I realized is like the input of a good design makes other people feel like home. So when they enter these spaces, because this is not the only time that has happened where I go in for an investment property, I design the whole place and then it sells. And it's like, it's every time, even if the owners are not expecting to sell. So this is how it looked afterwards. It's more playful, more neutral colors. I probably won't use those colors if I would do it now because of the person that I am now, but the person who I was in that moment, that's the perfect design. Like the lamps, the not very bright lights, but very comfy, inviting. And these chairs were chairs that the previous owners left, that probably the previous owners left because they're old school. So I did a project with some friends that we just like sat in the like in front of the garage area and just painted this. So I'll have this forever. And then an aunt gifted this plant that ended up like moved with me to several apartments. So yeah, this was my favorite place after work or during lunch. I would come here. There's like a bunch of trees. There was 3 willow trees. So these two are like my favorite spots of the whole house. Thank you. Thank you for joining me today. Besitos. So I was able to find more photos. Oh, this is where they were installing the countertops. As you can tell, it was supposed to go down here. We just like did it on this side. And also because of the amount of sheets pre-cut, like that's how they arrive. So it's more practical and less waste. And then the vibes, right? Just, oh, this is before the shelves. Because we had some leftovers of the white sheets, so we added them here. And I just had to buy like, by that time I really liked the gold, so that's what it was. And these are like scraps from work, from a project. And then my baby boy. And then gifts and paintings that I did. This was for hosting a Thanksgiving dinner. This was we were creating Bob, but here are the shelves again, and these are original lamps. I never got to buy the ones I really wanted, but I wanted to show you this because look at the trims. I also colored it the same way, and this is original. These cabinets were really good. I could have changed the handles, but I think I never did. I don't remember really well, but that uplifts a home. And then yeah, this is carpet from one of the theater projects. I got a bunch of samples. I think this is like my first purchase in IKEA. It's like one of the best things. But look at the flooring, look at the color theme, all in one. Parties. And by the way, these are like coconuts from Dominican Republic. I cut them and spray painted them. And then these are also scraps from a project. I think it was a hospital, a kid's hospital. Some friends. The lighting, I just loved it. Natural light, and just the vibe. I think this was a gift from a friend. They made it. This chair. And then, yeah, the party vibes. Missing all these people. Feels like another lifetime, another person.